Master of Mischief is a YouTuber who has started off creating Minecraft videos, and me and him used to actually play Minecraft together, which did remind me after I was playing some Minecraft recently, hold on a second, Master of Mischief sent me his book for children, which I actually read recently, and I remembered something also. I promised him a review 3,000 years ago. Which, number one, I just feel like an asshole. Number two, here is two with a one. Here is the book review. They say never to judge. Now, normally they say never ever judge a book by its cover, but honestly, the cover of this book really gave me some good first impressions. First off, I do really love the title, Shattered Realms, and the cover, it gives off that Heaven's Gate vibe, you know, that one cult? It gives off like that humongous vibe, especially with the planets and the glitch effects. Everything is just amazing on here. I will admit, the bottom font underneath is a bit generic, but overall, I was talking about, you can't judge a book by its cover. Second off, and I promise you this is not a conflict of interest, okay, maybe it's a tiny one, but I was so happy, or when I read my name, I was so delighted to really read it, especially because I am the villain, which is basically like my real life, but reading this part really made me so happy, and to Mischief, thank you really for making me like a part of your book lore. Reading the plot actually really impressed me, because normally for somebody's first books you're not expecting something great, but the plot, the best way to describe it, imagine Lord of the Rings, but like a more, let's say, a smaller scale of Lord of the Rings. The main character, which is supposed to represent Mischief, is named Mitzi, and Mitzi is actually a very likable character in the book, representing what I would call a good character. Well, he would represent what we call lawful good. That's really what his character is when we're talking Dungeons and Dragons term. Now, something really interesting is that the book does expand, or currently there is a lot of world building here, but some of the elements of world building might be a bit complicated, but I think it's just because it's my first time reading. Now, I won't get too into the plot because everything was really excellent. It's I see so much potential. I don't want anyone to be spoiled for it. There's a link for it in the description. But another thing I really love about the book is that the book does have relatability when it comes to characters. Mitzi himself is such a relatable character, especially the part that he's always been an outcast that many people may have found pleasant to talk to. Something very similar that many of us, including I, have experienced, or maybe we may have been floater friends, or friends who people do talk to, but not best friends-ish. Now, a really nice element of the book that something that I really loved, and the thing is, I don't want to spoil too much really when I'm reading it, but just some of the most amazing parts I like is the fact that essentially you feel like it is that's the phrase, it somehow feels at a perfect pace where when I saw the 206 pages, I'll be honest, the last time I read a book was No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. I butchered that name, and I thought these 206 pages would be daunting, but no, it felt like the book had so much to say. All of the pages I was reading, it just felt really much there was so much that the book could talk about that would have been really so much to expand on. It's hard to describe, it felt it said what it needed to say, but at the same time you feel oh, I want you to expand there, so it could have been even a 300-page book, which I really hope they're doing, as my friend Mischief told me he plans a sequel soon. Now, a smaller note that I actually really loved, I loved the spacing. It truly felt, and I don't know if this was a priority, but I think it was, it feels accessible to the average reader, where the text is big, but not big enough that's huge for the book, and it's really very easy to read, especially if you may struggle with your eyesight. Overall, the book it's for a first book, it's really great, actually one of the best books I've read really so far. But a tiny criticism I do have with the book, there were so many plots I feel could have been really expanded upon well. I enjoyed most of it. Sorry, Mischief, if you're watching this and I didn't get too much into the plot or comment too much on characters. I really want anybody watching this video to go into your book blind. It's excellent.